I mean, and that's the case behind Mardi Gras, right? Because right after that's the Lent. That's the idea behind the city Dionysia. And even these sort of random festivals that happen in our society, these situational events, right? The revolution does not occur after that. 68, you pointed out, like, isn't that the perfect culmination of situationism and its failure?
Okay. Yeah, so you're just basically pointing out the fact that that these celebrations where we celebrate our base desires don't turn into revolutionary situations, and are basically co-opted by the established order, right?
Right.
That it's necessary that we allow for these things so that capitalism can continue. So it's just like an outlet or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I would say that the same critique could be leveled at revolution in general, right? That the masses occasionally will rise up, and that actually capitalism, that the ruling order requires those things in order to keep itself functioning, because then it says, oh, okay, yeah, we'll change a little bit, or we'll put some new bosses in, but the fundamental order of things is not greatly altered by those. The Situationists are not saying that every celebration of base desires should or would result in a revolution. They're saying that this ideology, that Marxist ideology, should be combined with those base desires and should become a part of those celebrations in order to convert them into a revolutionary practice.
I don't think that the carnival, as it were, right, or the situational events necessarily lead to revolution. It's got to be way more than that. So that was not my claim, to be fair. And also, if the idea is, well, what about the Marxists and things like that? I mean, okay, fine, there can be criticisms leveled that the revolution hasn't happened globally and things like this. But before capitalism, there was something else. It was feudalism, and there was a revolutionary event that occurred that allowed that transition to occur. So, I mean, if your idea is that revolution can't happen, I'm going to just have to say you're wrong.
My statement was not that revolution cannot happen. My statement was that revolution often does not result in liberation of the masses, right? The bourgeois revolution did not result in the liberation of the peasants, of the workers. They just simply were taken into a new mode of production.
Yeah. Okay. I was confused as to
There's often capitalist-sponsored revolutions, or a revolution will take place,
right,
and then capitalism adopts it.
The civil rights revolution is not a revolution necessarily.
Nate?
I'll admit, as a Marxist, but also not a very good one. I just want to clarify here something so I can understand your critique, Greg. And I too am suspicious of what sounds to me like this idea of authenticity for the Situationist. But you were saying, how would we distinguish between a false desire, or an authentic desire and a non-authentic desire? With my limited reading of Marx, right? Am I not mistaken that he specifically also names the production of false desires? So, as an Orthodox Marxist, isn't there a Marxist notion of false desires inherent in that?
Well, if I may. Well, here's the big distinction, right? What Marx is talking about is desires above subsistence, right? So, yeah, if you're talking about bare subsistence, okay, food, clothing, shelter, medicine. However, right, post that, right, Marx is very quick to point out that there are plenty of socialist ideologies that are in fact bourgeois. There are plenty of revolutionary movements that are ostensibly anti-capitalist, but also serve capitalist ends. So in this case, right, the higher superstructure desires of law, of art, right, are themselves, right, above the base, right? The base is bare subsistence, right? And this would be the truth of the matter. I mean, this is one of the core components of the Marxian thesis, which is it's the means of production, the modes of production, that really call the shots, not eternally, not universally, not without resistance and autonomy among governments, but also call the shots on our day-to-day life. We think that it's the politicians that matter, but in fact, it's the corporations and the factories that matter. right? So this, I think, would be the distinction Marx would make, but not some sort of coarse moralism dressed up as, not that I'm saying you hold this position, but not to have a coarse moralism dressed up in the terms of authenticity.